Under your warranty, can you get a purge pump? Sure, okay. I never thought about it anymore, didn't worry about it, went to get inspected, yeah, you need it. Here's it was in January, so I'll get a 3, so I can get the emission stuff done, which means the purge pump. So I call Bentley, oh, yeah, we forgot to order that for you. Why don't you bring it down again, just to make sure, double check, make sure that code's right, okay.
You're on. Could you make a phone, please?
So I had to check it again, yes, they ordered in February, I got it last week. Jeez. I don't even know what today is. Good evening, welcome to July 11th Planning Board meeting. Do we have an agenda?
Discuss master plan update amendments, review the RFP for engineering, minutes, and other business.
Discuss the master plan. We got a master plan subcommittee.
So I didn't know if this falls under master plan or other business, but the 3 gentlemen that are joining Salem and myself need to be officially appointed to the subcommittee.
Yes, they do.
And we need to appoint Jack or,
I'll make Ray the voting member, but we'll wait for Naomi to come back in because she's gonna want to write all that stuff down too. Just because you weren't at the sidewalk, he was there, so I'll make.
Yeah, I couldn't make it to
He
the site. When
made-
I called Naomi, told her I couldn't make it to the
He took
sidewalk.
minutes and everything else.
You can share.
Thank you.
So I just appointed Ray as a voting member.
Yeah, I told her I couldn't make it to the sidewalk, that it's too tight schedule-wise.
so is that going to be on the July meeting?
Pardon me?
Follow up with that? Probably for the sidewalk? Oh. It's not going to be on the July meeting?
Probably not.
Okay. I didn't know if it was a good, was it? It wasn't anything official anyways.
Right. It was conceptual.
Conceptual, yeah.
Well, I was gonna appoint 3 people to the,
Phil Cody, Sean Gaffney, and Dan
I knew Sean Gaffney and Phil Cody, but I forgot the third name.
Dan Wandell, is that how you say it?
Daniel
I think it's
Wandel,
Wandell?
Wandel.
Wandell?
W-A-N-D-E-L.
However you pronounce it, I just appointed him, Salem and Pastor Bill to the subcommittee, officially. And you guys are meeting the 4th Wednesday or something like that? At least the first, the 5th Wednesday?
Well, it just so happens we're going to have one meeting to start
Yeah.
on the 31st, because
Oh.
Salem's away, and then we'll figure out the next meeting after that.
Check, done.
So did you officially appoint them?
I just did,
Okay.
yes. What are we gonna talk about with the RFP? Anything?
Where we left last time was, y'all had provided
We were gonna.
quite a bit of feedback, and if you had anything else, it was-
Janice emailed us a
by
Word
email.
doc and
Yep.
I didn't do anything with it.
So I think it was, yeah, you would have the Word doc that then you could mark up and send in if you felt like it. We did not talk about it at the last selectmen meeting, so there's still an opportunity. I guess, I don't know if anybody did provide feedback or still wants to or whatnot.
Do you know, did you get my copy? Or,
I did not.
I guess, Naomi, did you
But-
get the email on the RFP that I sent? Did you,
When?
oh, it would have been last Wednesday. I'll send it again.
Was it, I guess, double check the correct email address with the,
Don't use the where.any stuff, use the where any stuff.
Where,
yeah, the domain name changed last year.
Did you get a reply that I was out of the office?
no,
Okay, so you used the wrong one.
well, between that and computer problems.
Minutes? I don't have any minutes.
I didn't look at 'em.
I haven't looked at minutes. And you know we had them.
How long are they, Pastor Bill?
Huh? We can do June 13th. There's, it's one page and there's not a lot on it. And I looked at it, it doesn't seem like there's anything to be concerned about. Craig wasn't here.
No, I wasn't here, I don't care about that one.
But the minutes from the 27th, there's some things that need to be corrected, or,
That's a real short one, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll make the motion, we accept the June 13th minutes as presented.
Second.
You're not a voting member.
No, that's right, I'm not.
Second.
Draw that.
Do,
Yeah, you,
there is one amendment. Mr. Meany's last name is spelled incorrectly in a couple of spots.
What'd they leave out? The E?
No.
The second E, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
they got it right down here.
As
Right here.
long as my paycheck comes every month, I don't care.
Do we have a second?
N-E-Y?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Second.
Thank you. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sure.
You want this one down too?
Sure,
This is
why not?
6 pages long.
Oh, no. 6 pages, no. So we still gotta do June 27th.
That's this, yeah.
Jack's name's spelled wrong again in the absence.
Yep. I didn't even catch that because it sounds the same.
The,
Not related to Chip, huh?
You know, he's
Yes, if I can
my
add to your
illegitimate
edits for
older
next
brother. We
time,
threw him out of the
just so-
family.
I don't blame
on
you.
line 31,
I
it
don't
says
blame
Chair
you one bit.
Fulton. Should be Chair Francisco. Line
I've
31.
told people that for years, and they go, really?
Other business? We got any?
Well, I just mentioned the zoning board meeting the other night.
Not these,
Nah, 6 pages. Do we have looked at them yet? No.
6 or 4.
Pardon me?
4.
Pastor Bill said 6.
Oh, that's 4.
Yeah, four.
Sorry. It is 4.
We'll do them next time.
I went to the zoning board meeting the other night, on Tuesday night, because it was a planning board subject that was up for, sort of. It was up for a
Appeal of administrative decision.
administrative appeal. And the appeal wasn't successful, so. It was about the solar array on Concord Stage Road. So they have to go for a variance now well, they can come back here, whichever one they choose to do first.
So, yeah, I watched the meeting, and I guess I was curious, since I think that happened before I started on planning, I guess, I was curious what the backstory is, but also curious, I guess, like you elected to attend as a member of planning. Was there, and I guess that's my question, were you a member of planning or speaking with the authority of planning? It sounds more pointed a question than it really is. I'm just curious, like,
Yeah,
how it worked out.
To answer that question, the planning board did not make an official vote to have me represent
Yeah.
the planning board at that meeting.
Correct.
Craig and I talked about it, and we thought it would be prudent to do so.
Yeah, it seemed like useful information. It seemed like a positive.
And I kept it very to the point, and I didn't elaborate any more than I needed to.
Yeah,
I think it helped them with their decision.
They came in conceptually.
I think so.
Yeah, that's, I was gonna say.
So
it-
it's- so
it
there's
shouldn't have-
non-binding
It shouldn't have
discussion.
been there because it was
No-
conceptual.
Yeah,
It was nothing.
Which is the point I was making, and
Yeah.
they understood that once I,
Right.
yeah, so.
We didn't make a decision.
Because I was here for that meeting.
Yeah.
That's-
It was,
That's
I
what-
didn't want there to be any
They had to
confusion
come
in
back
that
with more
regard.
information and present more, but
So
they haven't done anything up there, put a little tool shed out in the middle of it.
Well, it would kind of
That was
get
in that
extricated by the
I know, the well was
town
there before
attorney,
the
kind of
building.
sounded like he made a decision
That's the only reason I noticed it.
based on a planning board decision that didn't happen.
So it shouldn't have gone before the zoning board to begin with.
I tried to make that point before they even started
Well,
it, but they didn't want to listen to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
It would have saved some effort, but
Yeah,
it was the
yeah,
order of things.
right, that was fine with us.
Putting the cart before the horse.
But yeah, I was just curious how,
I don't know, do they?
there was definitely some backstory there.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause they're
and,
gonna
and I
use
didn't want to go,
enterprise. Then, yeah, if you put it on your
Yeah.
property
Swept over,
yourself, you don't
no.
need any.
They're gonna sell the excess, poof, it's per commercial.
Yeah. I wonder if.
So it became, the appeal became an
brought up at the
administrative
selectmen's meeting
clarification.
Monday.
pretty much, yeah.
Turn around and he wants to start an energy committee, but he wants to do the whole roof of the solar array on the public safety building. But then, I don't know if he's gonna use that as a commercial enterprise to charge people's cars, is the way I understand it.
I only heard the second half of that.
What's that?
I only heard the second half of that.
That the guy wants to put that up to charge batteries, in other words, for cars and stuff like
Right,
that. And
yeah.
So is that a commercial enterprise? Is he gonna need to get?
Solar panel?
Yes, do the whole roof of the public safety building in solar panels.
That'll never happen.
They're looking at grants.
Who is?
What's his name,
Trying to
Erickson?
charge a car on solar,
Yeah, they're
that'll
gonna,
only take about 4,363 and a half days.
yeah,
So I don't have the details of that part of it. So this is David Erickson. There's a group of citizens who are asking to have, become an official subcommittee of town. They are not right now, but they've made that request. Kind of in parallel, and he's spearheading it, are looking at a solar grant. They've targeted the safety complex as potentially suitable, and they come before the board asking like, hey, will you make us official? And also separately, like, hey, we're interested in this grant, but you own the building. Is it something that you're okay with us pursuing? And we kind of said, hey, we want more info. We'll talk again in 2 weeks. Please get some more info.
they have to go before the town meeting to get approved as a new committee. They don't? Okay.
So, and those are kind of two separate things. It's the same group of people, but one, do we want it to be a subcommittee? And also separately, like, do we want the work that they've put in for a grant, is that something that we want to pursue for the town? But so to come back around to the battery thing, he didn't say like charging
He was talking about.
car batteries. He talked about, he said like in an emergency charging batteries, and so, which was a little ill-defined. It could be, have spare, I don't know, rechargeable flashlights or something.
The,
Well, they
is
could
this
do
the
that
same
with their-
Power goes out, I go there.
That's
they
the
could do
same-
with their gen set
I
down
can
there.
charge my
subcommittee that there
drill.
was rumors about at town meeting that people were asking about, at the deliberative session? There was some comments that were made,
They
deliberative session about a solar committee.
They were, same group, formerly interested in forming a solar committee, same group of people interested in forming an energy committee,
Okay.
to be more than just solar.
It would be interesting, because if they were gonna charge a bank of batteries, which means they're not only on the roof of the safety complex or
They're
whatever,
gonna have the batteries inside
they would
somewhere.
have to have a big battery room, a big battery room, to actually charge one car, right? If it was like a charging station for flashlights and stuff like that, all right.
Radios or something like
Yeah,
that.
but even that, it's more than the roof. They're gonna have to have a battery source somewhere, unless they're gonna sell the
Yeah.
power back to Eversource and then,
If they want to use it in an emergency situation, they need better backup, because
Exactly.
that's not going to work, right?
Yeah, and I mean, that's the other question now, if you're selling it back to Eversource, what kind of agreement are you gonna make with them? Who's gonna benefit
Yeah,
from it?
no,
they are.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, they are.
Eversource is for sure.
Yeah, Eversource
Plus
will
it-
benefit one way or the
For
other.
me, it begs the question of, is it needed? Primarily, as an example, we had that big outage in March several years ago. We were 10, 14 days with no power. And we have a safety complex set up in the gym at the middle school, with cots, et cetera, all available for whomever needed to come in. Nobody came in. Not that they weren't aware, they were fully aware.
Yeah.
But at that time, we investigated that with FEMA too, and the hoops you had to jump through just wasn't
yeah, it's
helpful.
interesting. So,
But with that, it was more people doing their fortress mentality. They sold out at Home Depot, Lowe's, whoever. And then we went through that process as a church to discern, well, we've got people who have power and they have generators. We can't do that. there's a liability issue unless that home is already pre-wired to hook up.
Yeah, unless you hire
generator.
a contractor to
Right.
come in and put in
And
a
whereas
licensed
we could say,
electrician.
well, we've got electricians who can do that for us, but they're not gonna do it with a switch, because that's, $300 to $500. And, jury rigging it to put an extension cord into your box, well, we're gonna shut the main off, fine, but who's gonna be responsible to disconnect the whole system after the fact when the homeowner knows the power's come back on? So it's more to it than, even with the place up on Concord Stage, where are these people that you're supposedly ministering to or meeting a need with? You haven't done that homework yet to find out, well, I qualify because my income is X, who are those people?
Well,
And,
That's the question. I mean, who's gonna benefit from it outside of the owners?
Right.
They'll benefit somewhat from it, because they'll get money back from
And that's why
Eversource.
we determined it's a commercial system.
Yeah, so it's a commercial system, so I mean,
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's
wait,
not
And-
gonna benefit anybody else.
I got 27 solar panels and I get pennies,
Yep.
pennies.
Well, I lived in a place that they had a hydro plant and
Yeah.
didn't get squat. It would have been better off to turn it and have a self-exciting head on that turbine, and you could have powered the house and then some, but no. Because public service was always, at the time, was always finicky. They would not accept it, or they'd shut it down. We don't need it, so then like you said, no matter what you got.
yeah, unless you're totally going off grid in that setting, so.
Yeah, so you'd be better off to go off-grid and just use the self-exciting turbine head, and that way you just
But
power your
even
house.
there's,
Cool.
I know of one residence that's totally off the grid, and they have to supplement their solar with a generator,
Well,
because it's insufficient.
If
Oh, yeah.
if you get cloud cover for more than a day, you run a generator.
You-
Well, that's what those
some
Tesla
towns are
stations
still
do,
Not electrified, up in Maine.
with a diesel generator next door.
I think the idea though, is to generate enough that you can have the safety complex and all the town bills get credit. So the thousands of dollars that we spend on electricity the idea was that those would now become a lot less, or zero. But I don't know how that works in the
Yeah.
winter because you have to generate the power.
Right.
So you can't go to zero unless you have this huge bag of storage thing, which is impossible.
And they're talking about going up 15% more in their rate,
Yeah.
so
Oh, yeah.
what you'll probably get will just barely bring you back to what you are.
No,
Well,
Yeah,
it's,
we get 2 months a year
yeah,
that we don't really get an electric bill, 2 months.
it all depends too
we've gone 2 months without a bill.
on how you're
You weren't
designing
even
your
home
home
one of
too.
You weren't even home for one of them.
Go home, you're gone at 5 in the morning, so whatever. But anyway.
And I guess just because everybody seems curious, at this past Monday's meeting, we also talked to Chief Rorick about electrical at the fire department, so it's just sort of coincidental. He's interested in getting a compressor for the air tanks, and it needs 3-phase power, and the building, or at least that part of the building, doesn't have 3-phase power. And it turns out all the circuit breaker panels are full, so we had a quote for expanding that, and so that did make me a little more concerned about the solar project as well, of what are they gonna try and tie into in that building? Is it gonna be sufficient? Or on the flip side, hey, if you're getting a grant, can we squeeze needed repairs into that as well? That's all the investigation work that still needs to be done. Yeah, so we talk about it at this point, a week and a half.
Well, the three-phase should be a separate setup anyway, it's just.
Yeah, but when I start hearing, oh, the circuit breaker boxes are all full, like,
well,
and now you want to
power
tie,
the
like,
whole building, so yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and then you start opening those up, like, yeah, we're gonna hook these solar, all the inverters into this, and like, where? Oh, well, actually, we need a whole nother thing, and, well, okay, that's another $1,000, whatever. So, seemed like a slippery slope.
Yep.
Like a snowball.
compressor for three-phase.
Any other
that's other business.
any other business?
Not that I have.
It's not even 7:30 yet.
Naomi's got toothpicks under her eyes over there.
That's,
I go home.
I said Naomi's got toothpicks under her eyes over there.
So are we.
I know I do.
Then I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You can't vote.
I know, I didn't.
Hold on.
I had my truck started